literally just left my chiropractor, and I just had a moment like when I just realized I know this, but sometimes just when you hear it or when you say it, right, it just adds that extra confirmation. And I came to the chiropractor because, I knew I'd flown a lot going to Paris, coming back, and my right nerve in my leg or something was kind of hurting. So I know I had like a little pinched nerve from all that flying, I'm sure. So I had to tell them, yeah, I've been traveling. I went to Paris. I'm back. And as I was checking out, she was like, do you want to, schedule something else for next week? And I was like, no, I can't. I won't be in town. I'm going to New York Monday morning from New York to LA. So I won't be in town any next week. Maybe the next week. And I was like, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed doing what.
The world of Huntsville never stops spinning. And just when fans think they've seen it all, Melody Shari finds a way to shake the ground again. For years, people have watched her rebuild her life piece by piece after betrayal, heartbreak, and public humiliation. They've seen her grow into a businesswoman, a mother, and a force that refuses to be silenced. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared anyone for the bombshell she just dropped. It wasn't a quiet announcement, it wasn't whispered behind closed doors. This was bold. It was raw. And it sent shockwaves through fans, friends, and even her enemies. Because once again, Melody is proving that no matter how much people try to tear her down, she'll always find a way to rise, and this time, she's rising higher than anyone expected. The question is, how did she keep this hidden? How did she build something so powerful in the shadows without anyone knowing? And most importantly, what does this mean for everyone around her, especially Martel, the man whose choices tried to break her but instead made her unstoppable? Sit tight, because once we lay it all out, you'll understand why this news has Huntsville, social media, and even her cast members completely shaken. To understand just how powerful this announcement is, you have to rewind the story. Melody wasn't just another reality TV star looking for quick fame. She was a wife, a mother, and a dreamer long before the cameras showed up. She built a life with Martel Holt, thinking they were partners, building businesses, and raising a family together. On the outside, they looked like a power couple. But on the inside? Cracks were forming that the whole world would eventually see. When Love and Marriage, Huntsville first aired, fans were drawn to Melody's light, her confidence, her drive, her ability to balance it all. But that same spotlight exposed everything Martel was hiding. His long-term affair with Ariane Curry wasn't just a private betrayal. It was public. It was messy. And it dragged Melody into years of pain, humiliation, and battles that most women wouldn't survive under the weight of. Instead of breaking her, though, those moments lit a fire inside her. Melody realized that if she stayed in Martel's shadow, she'd always be reduced to the woman who was cheated on, the woman who had to fight for her dignity while her husband flaunted disrespect. So, she chose a different path. She filed for divorce. She took control of her businesses. She built her own brand 70th Avenue Beauty into something real. She showed up at events looking radiant, even while silently hurting. She became the example of what it means to rise from ashes, even when people are rooting for your downfall. And the more she grew, the more Martel seemed to spiral. Instead of supporting her, he attacked her, questioned her, dragged her into custody battles, and clung to control. But through it all, Melody kept stacking wins. Fans started noticing the shift. Martel was busy bouncing between drama, but Melody? She was leveling up. She was hosting sold-out events, releasing music that spoke directly to her pain, and partnering with brands that gave her national attention. She was proof that betrayal doesn't have to be the end of the story, it can be the beginning of something stronger. That's why when she made this latest announcement, people didn't just clap for her. They stood in shock. Because as much as fans knew she was capable of greatness, nobody saw this coming. So, what exactly did Melody reveal? Picture this: after months of speculation, quiet hints, and whispers online, Melody stepped forward and confirmed that she's expanding her empire in a way that changes everything. Not only is her 70th Avenue beauty line officially being picked up by major retailers nationwide, But she's also secured a seat at the table for something bigger, an exclusive collaboration with a global fashion and beauty brand that puts her name alongside industry giants. For years, people tried to label her as just a reality star. Now, she's stepping onto a worldwide stage where her brand will sit in stores and on runways far beyond Huntsville. But here's the twist: this wasn't just about business. In her announcement, Melody revealed something even more personal. She admitted that part of the reason she fought so hard to build this deal was because of her children. She wanted to prove to them that no matter what life throws at you, whether it's betrayal, heartbreak, or people doubting your worth, you can still create something that lasts. She said she's not just doing this for herself. She's doing it so her kids will never forget that their mother didn't crumble when the world tried to bury her. And that's where the emotion hit fans the hardest. Because let's be honest, this isn't just about makeup or fashion. It's about redemption. It's about Melody rewriting the story Martel tried to trap her in. For years, he thought keeping her name tangled in drama would stop her from shining. Instead, it fueled her. Now, while Martel struggles with custody, finances, and constant criticism, Melody is signing contracts that guarantee generational wealth. That's the part that stings him the most. And it doesn't stop there. The announcement also hinted at a Bombshell project that fans are already buzzing about, her own docuseries. Imagine that, Melody pulling back the curtain and showing the raw truth of her journey. Not just the polished Instagram posts, not just the clips we see on OWN, but the real, behind-the-scenes struggle of what it took to rebuild her life. Contracts, late-night meetings, tears, prayers, and the moments she almost gave up. So as the dust settles and Huntsville buzzes with gossip, one truth stands taller than the rest: Melody Shari is unstoppable. And if this is only the beginning of her new chapter, then the world better get ready. Because the best revenge isn't anger, it isn't bitterness, it isn't clapping back. The best revenge is success. And right now, Melody is serving it in the biggest way possible. The truth is, no matter how much people try to hide behind smiles, designer clothes, or carefully staged photos, the cracks always show. What started as whispers in dark corners, as rumors fans dismissed at first, has now exploded into something impossible to ignore. Every hidden text, every late-night phone call, every unexpected reaction on social media, it all paints a picture that's far darker than anyone thought at the beginning. And this isn't just about broken trust. It's about people who once swore loyalty now finding themselves on opposite sides. It's about love being used like a weapon. It's about friends turning into strangers, and strangers knowing secrets they should have never known. Behind the scenes, the tension is so thick that even the smallest move can trigger another storm. And with every new revelation, it feels like we're only scratching the surface. Think about it. If this much has already spilled out into the public, the cheating, the betrayals, the fiery confrontations, then what's still locked away? What's still sitting in those private group chats, in those hushed conversations between people who know way more than they're willing to admit? We've seen the tears. We've heard the anger. But have we truly heard the whole truth? Or has the real story been buried so deep that even now, we're only hearing the half of it? Because here's the thing about scandals like this, they never end where you think they will. One moment you think the drama has reached its peak, and the next, another bombshell drops out of nowhere. It's like standing on shaky ground, waiting for the next crack beneath your feet. And make no mistake, the ground is cracking. Slowly. Steadily. Behind closed doors, insiders are already whispering that the next chapter will make what we've seen so far look tame in comparison. They're saying the betrayals run deeper, the connections are messier, and the stakes are higher than we could have ever imagined. Imagine someone you trusted with your heart turning around and using that same trust to destroy you. Imagine the cameras going off, but the drama getting even worse when the lights are gone. That's the reality here. And that's why this story isn't over, not by a long shot. Some fans are calling it karma. Others say it's just the natural consequence of living life on reality TV, where secrets can't stay hidden forever. But whether you believe in fate, or you just believe in receipts, the fact remains there are still more truths waiting to come out. And when they do, the fallout will shake everything we thought we knew about these people. The shocking part? some of the biggest voices in this drama haven't even spoken yet. There are people staying silent now who are holding on to the kind of information that could flip this entire situation upside down. And when they finally break their silence? Phew. It's going to get ugly. But here's where things get even more dramatic. For all the chaos, all the hurt feelings, and all the public embarrassment, there's still that little question lingering in the back of everyone's mind. Is there any chance of healing? Can love or loyalty survive this kind of storm? Or is the damage already permanent? Nobody knows. And maybe that's why fans can't look away. Because deep down, we're all waiting for that one moment, the moment when someone either rises from the ashes stronger than before or completely crumbles under the weight of their own secrets. Every scandal has an expiration date. But this one? It feels like it's only just beginning. The tension is building, the silence is loud, and the truth is standing right outside the door, waiting to break in. So, buckle up. Because the next chapter in this story? It won't just be shocking. It will be unforgettable. And when it finally hits, it's going to leave everyone asking the same haunting question: if this was only the beginning, then what on earth comes next? The truth about Huntsville is that the story never really ends. Every time you think you've reached the final page, another chapter appears out of nowhere. And this time, that chapter belongs fully to Melody Shari. Her announcement didn't just shake the table, it flipped the entire room upside down. Because what she revealed wasn't just a business deal or a new project. It was a declaration of survival. A living, breathing testimony that no betrayal, no heartbreak, no courtroom battle, and no ex-husband can erase who she is meant to be. And that's what makes this so much bigger than a headline. Think about the road that led here. This is the same woman who once stood in front of cameras with tears in her eyes, trying to explain why her marriage was falling apart while the world judged her. This is the same woman who endured being mocked, belittled, and dragged by the very man she once trusted with her life. She faced whispers about being too much, about not being enough, about being replaced. And for years, people thought those whispers would crush her spirit. But now, those whispers have become her fuel. They turned into the fire that powers every win she's stacking today. That's why this moment feels like more than just success, it feels like destiny. Because what Melody just proved is something so many people need to hear: your pain doesn't get the last word. Your story doesn't end where someone else left you broken. And if you keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing, one day you'll stand exactly where you were meant to be, stronger, freer, and more powerful than ever before. Of course, with great triumph comes great tension. Huntsville is buzzing right now, and not everyone is celebrating her rise. Behind the cameras, people are uneasy. Martell, for one, is said to be furious. His pride has always been tied to control over his family, control over the narrative, control over Melody. But the moment she stood on that stage and revealed her latest move, that control evaporated. Suddenly, he's not the one calling the shots. He's not the one with the power. He's watching from the sidelines as Melody builds an empire that not only secures her future but also rewrites his entire legacy. And let's not forget Ariane. Every time Melody wins, Ariane's role in this messy story becomes smaller and smaller. For years, she believed Martell's promises, believed she'd somehow come out on top. But the truth is clear now. While Melody is signing contracts and planning docuseries, Ariane is still fighting for validation in an arena where she was never truly respected. That contrast stings. And that's why, whether they admit it or not, both Martell and Ariane are forced to face the same reality: the woman they tried to tear down is untouchable now. But this isn't just about them. It's about how Melody's rise impacts everyone in her orbit. The cast of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, knows exactly what this means. When one person's story takes center stage in such a powerful way, it shifts the dynamic of the entire show. Some will cheer for her publicly, while secretly wondering how her shine affects their own spotlight. Others will whisper, spread rumors, or dig for dirt, desperate to dim her glow. But no matter what they try, it won't work. Because Melody's power doesn't come from drama anymore, it comes from purpose. And that purpose has fans more invested than ever. Social media hasn't stopped buzzing since the announcement. Fans aren't just congratulating her, they're sharing their own testimonies, their own heartbreaks, their own journeys of starting over. They see themselves in Melody. They see their struggles mirrored in her story. And when she stands tall, they feel like they're standing tall too. That's why this moment is so much bigger than Huntsville. It's resonating with women and men across the country and even across the world because it speaks to a universal truth: resilience is louder than betrayal. Still, even as we celebrate, the suspense lingers. Because if Melody has managed to keep this project hidden for so long, what else is she working on behind the scenes? What other moves has she quietly prepared, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal? If this docuseries happens the way fans expect, it won't just be a show. It'll be a cultural reset. A chance for her to finally tell her story in her own words, with no edits, no filters, no interruptions. Imagine the impact of seeing the raw truth, the sleepless nights, the private tears, the boardroom victories, the moments with her children that nobody else has seen. That's the kind of vulnerability that doesn't just inspire, it transforms. But let's not forget one more thing: every win Melody secures raises the stakes for everyone else. Martell isn't just angry, he's threatened. And history shows us what happens when a man like Martell feels cornered. He lashes out. He tries to regain control by any means necessary. So, the real question isn't just how Melody celebrates this moment, it's how she protects it. Will Martell try to use this success against her in court? Will he stir up more drama to distract from her shine? Or will he finally realize that fighting her only makes him look smaller? And then there's the silent players, the ones watching from the shadows. Insiders whisper that some people in Huntsville hold secrets that could change everything if they ever came to light. Group chats filled with receipts. Private conversations that expose what really happened behind closed doors. If those voices decide to speak, the drama could shift in ways nobody expects. And that's why this story still feels like it's only just beginning. For now, though, one thing is crystal clear: Melody Shari has stepped into a new season of her life. A season where her name is tied to success, not scandal. A season where her children can look at her and see more than just their mother, they can see their hero. A season where her enemies have no choice but to watch her win. And that's the kind of transformation no gossip, no betrayal, and no ex-husband can undo. So where does it all go from here? The truth is, nobody knows. Maybe more secrets will spill. Maybe more friendships will crumble. Maybe Huntsville hasn't even seen the biggest bombshell yet. But here's what we do know: Melody's rise isn't slowing down. Every time people think she's peaked, she comes back with something bigger. Every time they count her out, she proves them wrong. And every time someone tries to bury her, she grows into something even stronger. And maybe that's the ultimate lesson in all of this. Life will break you, life will betray you, life will test you, but if you refuse to quit, if you refuse to let bitterness consume you, one day you'll stand exactly where Melody stands right now: free, fearless, and unstoppable. So, as the cameras keep rolling, as social media keeps buzzing, and as the whispers keep spreading, remember this: the best revenge is not anger. It's not bitterness. It's not even exposing the people who hurt you. The best revenge is building a life so full, so powerful, so successful, that nobody can ever reduce you to your past again. And that's exactly what Melody Shari just did. Her story isn't over. If anything, it's only just beginning. And when the next chapter unfolds, one thing's for certain: it's going to leave us all asking the same haunting question: if this was only the beginning, what on earth comes next?